smoother, more active day because your joints deserve premium care. Don't let your arthritic pain scare you. Choose Cancer Mixture because Cancer Mixture is the solution. Produced by Trust in Jehovah Clinic in Takwa and available in pharmacy. For bulk purchase, can contact them in Takwa at 0244 871 862 and in Kaswa at 0245 012 201 and in Okanshi Drug Lane in Accra at 0244 683 583. Cancer Mixture, a world devoid of sickness. Now, how did you start your day? Well, if you haven't had your cup of Mixi Choco, then you are truly missing out something. Rich, new, tasty of Mixi Choco is crafted to brighten your mornings and give you refreshing all day long. Everything is right in there for you, and just add hot water, stir and enjoy a cup of warm, comforting Mixi Choco. Now, for the coffee lovers, Mixi has something special for you too. Mixi Coffee delivers a creamy, smooth coffee experience that keeps you energized for your everyday hustle. Honestly, just one sip and you feel it. And guess what? There is more. Introducing the new delicious Mixi Strawberry, a sweet, exciting addition. And one more reason you should love Mixi. Start your day right with Mixi. Mixi, channel hot. So just get one hot coffee for yourself this morning before you start your day. Now, this is coming from the Maha Beach Resort. They said, join us celebrate this Christmas holidays like never before. Book 2 nights and get the third night for free with all meals inclusive, starting from 5,200 Ghana cedis for a couple. Package offer guests free welcome drinks, access to all in-house facilities, that's the swimming pool, the gym, the cinema with popcorn, board games, and etc. Live band, brass band, DJ performances, and many more you want to experience. Also, you can enjoy free airport tickets from the Saturday on weekend. Terms and conditions are applied. Fun activities include a tour of the beautiful facility with an electric golf cart and splash playground for kids, in-house Anko Carnival and sip and paint, bicycle rides, boat ride, and Maha Village, jet ski, banana boat, party bus ride, night club, bonfire nights, variety nights. There will be trips to Izulezu, Fort Apollonia, and Casa Forest, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park Home, and many more. You can also take advantage on this boost Christmas promo. Enjoy 50% discount on rates with breakfast, free lunch and dinner from 27th December to the 15th of January 2026. Maha Beach Resort has got you for this holiday. Come for your reservation now, and to avoid disappointment, you can call their hotline at 030-3977773, and for their mobile, you can contact them at 054-012-4114, and for WhatsApp at 05015700684, and for their email at sm@maharesort.com, and for social media handles, you can follow them at Maha Beach Resort, and for their website at www.maharesort.com. So this is for you for the holiday. Don't stay at home. Go out and have fun. So now let's have our papers for today. So the headlines papers for today in the Ghanaian Times is saying the big one says 41 illegal forest traders busted in joint police BOG crackdown. Ghana must iconize Bagben, former Kumewu MP. And so this and some other stories you can find in the Ghanaian Times newspaper for today. So the next paper is saying, so the Daily Graphic is saying Pandai seat creates chaos in Parliament. Yesterday was something else in Parliament. So, and Ghana loses $3 billion annually to corruption, Raj Commissioner says so. And Dr. Omane Boame's funeral for Saturday and Sunday. You can find the details when you purchase the Daily Graphic newspaper for today. And the Daily Guide newspaper is saying 90 illegal forest traders arrested. Yes, so it was in the previous paper I stated earlier. And pandemonium in Parliament. Court restrains Mustafa Hamid, 9 others bail terms. So for the Parliament story, when you purchase the Daily Guide newspaper, you can find the story on page 3 of the paper. The National Voice paper is also saying Mahama's government accused of shortchanging government in lithium deal. APL warns of $630 million US loss. And Funnel Now Pay Later proves Baume's digital vision, still powering Ghana and Dr. Amakon Hill's new fail credit system. And TUC accuses PRC of undermining social dialogue over new tariff increase. And the Observer Times is saying showdown in Parliament as majority and minority clash over Pandai vacancy and expanding dialysis and specialist care. President Mahama unveils health facility upgrade plan. And Asantehene to present Boko mediation report to Mahama, and yes, it was in our news this morning. And the Meridian newspaper is saying shock lithium rollback. APL calls decision a major corruption concern. The stories on page 3 and 2 of the Meridian newspaper. And minority demands withdrawal of letter declaring Pandai seat vacant. So that's the minority chief whip, Mr. Frank Anodompre, over there. So that's all we have for the papers for today. And there are many more stories in the headlines for today. And don't go anywhere where whilst Maltiti is already seated with the guests to delve deeply into the papers for today. I am Valencia Tete. Stick and stay with us.
Thank you so much, Valencia, for those stories on the front pages of the newspapers. This is the headline segment. I am Altiti Saida Sadeka, and this is live everywhere on our social media handles, and so you can follow our conversation there this morning. My guests are lawyer Kwame Jantua. He's a member of the CPP. We're expecting the Honorable Isifu Mahmood, who is the MP for Binduri. When he does join, he will be at the table. Lawyer, good morning. Welcome back to the table.
How are you?
I'm well. Hope you're well.
I'm breathing.
Great.
It's when you wake up in the morning, you don't breathe, there's a case.
Yes.
But I'm breathing. So
we're breathing.
I'm fine.
Absolutely. Lots happening on the floor of Parliament. Lawyer, I believe that you have been following the Pandai rerun elections, what the embattled MP has had to say about the seats of the Electoral Commission, has done. Right now, the minority in Parliament, and yesterday, before all of that chaos, the minority made clear that they will not allow proceedings to continue until a letter from the clerk to the Electoral Commission declaring the Pandai seat vacant is withdrawn. And so Parliament on Monday formally notified the Electoral Commission of the vacancy in line with the Tamale High Court directive for a fresh poll. And the letter dated December 4, the clerk of Parliament informed the EC chairperson, Madam G. Mensah, that the seat had been declared vacant. But Minority Chief Whip Mr. Anodompre described the communication as out of place and unfortunate, insisting it breaches the rule of law. And so the MPP vowed to overturn the Pandai rerun. He said the 500 disputed votes can't erase 3,734 votes that won them that election. Let's take a listen.
Today, the 8th of December 2025, you declare the Pandai parliamentary seat vacant. Respectfully, this decision has generated profound concern not only among members of this House, but across the nation because of its apparent inconsistency with the binding procedural rules governing the effects of application for stay of execution. Speaker, it is now threats that where an application for stay of execution is pending for determination, any proceeding for execution of the judgment shall be stayed for the period. The Speaker, this is why the event of 24th November 2025 are so important. On that day, you delivered a ruling in response to an application from the Majority Chief Whip, requesting that the Pandai seat be declared vacant. Speaker, in your own reasoning, you recorded clearly and publicly relying on these very procedural rules and affirmed this binding nature. This same inconsistency was seen in the Honorable James Kwajikwesin matter during the 8th Parliament, where you strongly maintain that Parliament must not act while a stay of application is pending. Let us commit ourselves to principal leadership, to procedural fidelity, and to the understanding that this House is a guardian, not a manipulator of the law. This decision will not stay. The clerk must be instructed forthwith to withdraw that letter and act according to law.
I will suspend sittings for 5 minutes, and I expect to see the leaders.
And so that's the minority side, represented by the minority chief with Mr. Anodompre there. The speaker deferred the ruling, however, the minority's request for the withdrawal of that letter declaring the Kwandai seat as vacant. The House commenced sitting yesterday for business, but what ensued was the chaos that we saw on the floor. Lawyer Janta.
Oh, did he? Good morning to our viewers.
Good morning.
Really, what do you want me to say? Because there's a process, isn't there? And the Speaker has overall authority in the House. The opposition, and let's look at what Anodompre was saying before we come to the unfortunate chaos. And Anodompre is saying that there's a stay of execution. The Speaker didn't think so, and they are masters of their own rules, just like the Supreme Court is a master of its own rules. And the Speaker, in his judgment, felt that seat should be made vacant. The Constitution 1125 indicates that the clerk would send a letter to the Electoral Commission for the Electoral Commission to do what? Within a certain duration, have a by-election.
Right.
I've forgotten what the duration is. Is it 30 days?
I'm not so sure.
Okay. But you see, this case has been taken to the Supreme Court. Yes? I think the Supreme Court is going to hear this case December 12th.
Yeah.
December 12th. Between now and December 12th, how many days?
Roughly 2-3 days.
Yes.
Yes.
So even if the letter has gone to the Electoral Commission, within those 2-3 days, will the by-election be held? Will the by-election be held? So within that duration, the by-election would not be able to be held. The Supreme Court will come out with its ruling, whether for or against, we move. No, be so?
Right.
So what's the hoo-ha for? Look, I keep
But
saying...
you know, numbers also matter in passing of these, approving of these budgets, legislations and all of that. He said that we should be mindful of procedural fidelity, that they were breaching procedural fidelity. By declaring the seat vacant means that Kwandai MP doesn't get to have a voice, and so that voice is not added to the minority side.
And this is where I keep saying, and for me, if I were the minority, I will go back into the constituency, get all my people in that constituency, and do what? Campaign heavily. Campaign heavily. Because whatever the case is, there's going to be a by-election. There's a stay of execution. It's gone to the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court comes and says what the High Court has done is right, because were there malpractices in 41
Polling centers.
And if there were malpractices, should it not be looked at? And if the court, based on the evidence that the High Court had, and remember, it was based on evidence presented by, is it Wapai? Is that his name?
Yeah.
The gentleman who took it to court. Based on that evidence, the judge felt, yes, there was a case to hold the by-election. You see, for me, one of the things that cook my baking is the fact that we are not showing respect to institutions. We are not showing respect to the High Court. And most of all, we are not showing respect to the House of Parliament. The action by the opposition yesterday, and let me ask you, I went to Adisado College. If the students today do the kind of action that the opposition did in Parliament in the school, will we condemn them?
We're told that, parliaments who have evolved, even do we see these kinds of spectacles in such parliaments?
For me, it's disrespectful to the House of Parliament. For you to be called honorable, there is a reason for that. And one of those reasons is discipline and respect. I thought once Arnaud Dompré had given his presentation, it will end there. You've made your case. You stated your case.
They're still accusing the speaker of bias. In certain instances, like Gyakye Quayson, things were different. And so it looks like that is why vehemently they refuse to back down on this.
I said the speaker is the Speaker of the House. And he cannot be held for what? Their own judgments in the past. The way the Supreme Court can also vary.
How is he supposed to, how would you suggest he behave so that they do not feel that he's being biased in this Kwandai issue?
Did he state why he had allowed his verdict to stay? The reason why he wouldn't allow what the opposition said? Let's question the Speaker and ask him, Mr. Speaker, why do you think, compared to Gyakye Quayson and this case, why do you think this one should go forward? Maybe media should go and interview him and let him give a reason why. I'm not sure in his presentation, I didn't listen to it, I'm not sure in his presentation why he gave that reason for the seat to be declared vacant. But irrespective, the behavior of parliamentarians should be such that it is decorous and it respects the House. All that banging of the table, all that disruption when the majority leader was speaking, even when the Speaker was speaking, all that disruption, what was it for?
Very chaotic.
Very chaotic.
And there were, budgets being passed through.
Important things were being
discussed. Reports by committees were being looked at,
the
captured by the
were they doing it on behalf of the people that they represent, or were they doing it on behalf of the political party MPP?
I believe that's what they believed they were doing on behalf of the Ghanaian people, to hold, government accountable.
And let me ask the question: how many of the MPP, the opposition, went back to their constituencies to hold surges their constituencies as to this particular matter and get from their constituencies and bring to Parliament and show all of us that we've been to our constituencies, this is what our constituencies are saying. They've signed copies of what they want them to do and went ahead to do.
What else would instigate them to behave this way if they are not doing it based on the people that they represent?
What is the size of their group in Parliament? Whatever they do, they want more people. And for this particular one, they feel it is one of their own who won an election. That the opposition is the majority is trying to do what? Take it off them. But anyway, do NDC need more seats in Parliament?
How does anybody know what the final determination of that rerun will be?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that the concentration should be going back into the constituency and campaigning to win and win squarely.
Are they right to have fears that the government of the day may use the state machinery to ensure that they win that seat?
The people of Ghana would see if the government did that. And do you think the government would do that? Well, with politics, you can't tell what can happen. But I hope and pray that it is transparent and it's open. Is it the entire constituency, or is it the 41? Just the 41? Yes. So what's the problem? It's not the 500 and what do you call it? No. So what is the problem?
Do you think that the majority or the government of the day are confident even about the conduct of that elections, because it is still going to be overseen by an electoral commissioner who has been, there are petitions for her to go with her deputies?
So,
They are going to oversee.
so what are you suggesting? That the Electoral Commission will try and do some wuru in there to
No, I'm asking. So the
favor-
NPP are agitating, and the NDC has its reservations about the Electoral Commissioner. So would you have expected the NDC to also, you know, maybe be behaving like the
Not
minority?
until the Electoral Commissioner is removed, she is still the Electoral Commissioner. Let's respect that office that she sits. She still has the right and she still has the responsibility and an obligation, according to the Constitution, to run any by-election or election that comes up. Till the time she is removed, she is still the Electoral Commissioner. And if anybody is trying to use backhand, is trying to use backdoor, is trying to use under the table to cause mayhem, or if not mayhem, to cause a situation where this rerun would also be claimed as what? Not done properly, then there's a problem for us. But I think both MPP and NDC, and if CPP decide to even go, it will be clear and fair for all of us to see. But I think whatever the case is today, if GTV can go to Parliament,
And try to speak to the
try to
speaker.
speak to the Speaker to find out why. Because look, the clerk did not do anything ultra-virus. He went according to the Constitution.
Right.
7 days, goes to Electoral Commission and do what? Tell them that seat is declared vacant. What did they do wrong?
Right.
So why is the opposition saying withdraw the letter because of the stay of execution? They are rules of their own. Their members, they are responsible for their own rules.
You've seen the petitions to remove Madam Jimens and her deputies. Do you think that the petitions hold merit or have merit?
I don't know. I won't be able to tell.
This
Till
particular
such time-
Pandai
till-
rerun
till-
has
till-
been cited as one of the
Well, till
many
such time-
discrepancies.
till such time that we've seen the evidence, and the evidence from who? Those who have been accused. I wouldn't want to comment. It is early days. Let's see what comes out. But yes, on the whole, there were discrepancies. Was it 2020 where President Akufo-Addo's results were given 3, 4, 5 times? Discrepancy. There are discrepancies, but it's based on what? The evidence that the Electoral Commissioner and her associates would present. And let's all see whether that evidence will hold water. And if it doesn't hold water, it's up to the court to decide whether the evidence does or whether the prosecution's evidence also holds water over theirs. So let's see.
Okay, so
It is where the politics now comes in. And they say, oh, it's the president, it's this, it's the... That is where it muddies the waters. You know, if
when the president has to act on petitions from citizens,
exactly,
well-meaning
but you
citizens.
see, there's a process. There's a process. Okay, you might say it is a NDC who have instigated somebody
to put in the petition.
Do you know? Show the evidence. Show the evidence.
Right.
You see, the thing is that in this Fourth Republic, we've had 2 parties rule this country, NDC, MPP, and sometimes you see a mirror of the same thing happening when either of them come into power. You see a mirror of it happening. And I don't think that is good for our democracy. I don't think so. Let's be clear and let's be plain and let's trust that when we put people in power, they will do the right thing. But unfortunately, you don't seem to have done the right thing within this duration of time. And so let's see what happens.
Are you disappointed that when we put people in the right places to do the right things and, you know, they renege on their responsibilities, they do not vacate these positions
Will
until
they?
they are taken out?
Will they?
It happens.
Will they? They
elsewhere.
feel it is right. Look, I believe that if anybody does anything ultra-virus to the position they've given them, first thing is to resign. You know, show your integrity. That's why, for me, I was really dead against the way my good friend, the former Supreme Court Chief Justice, was going. Yes, you did one press conference. It didn't seem to hold water. And if I were her, my evidence is what I would go by. And if it so happens that they don't agree, whether fair or by what you call it means, my integrity is much more important. That job is not my father's job. I've been called to serve. And if my calling to serve, people see what you call it, and I have been given the opportunity to state my case, and my case isn't taken, go sit somewhere. But you know, in most of these things, there's always backdoor negotiations. Most of these things, there's always backdoor negotiations where you decide that, okay, the way the things are going, I'm going to, what do you call it, state my case. If my evidence isn't strong enough, you can always renegotiate, especially with your entitlements. But don't muddy the waters such that it now becomes difficult. Because I believe, if for nothing at all, her entitlements should be looked at again. She has been a person of the judiciary for a long time, quite some time now, and she's contributed to the judicial process, contributed heavily to the judicial process, and she deserves, if for nothing at all, her entitlements.
Right.
I mean, then what was the use of her being in the judiciary for all this time and doing the work that she did? So let's try as much as possible to respect the positions that are given. And if you feel that you have been blighted, okay, take it to court. Put your case across. A judge will decide whether you are, whether what you presented holds water, or whether what you presented doesn't hold water. Then we move on. Life is short.
Okay.
Life is short.
So in the chaos that happened in Parliament yesterday, what would you have expected the Speaker to do as well? Because as I mentioned, government business still went on, parliamentary business still went on, they were looking at budgets and all of that. Would you have expected him to suspend entirely sittings and have the place calm because of the chaos that was happening? Because, so then what happens? The budgets that were approved and everything, the minority did not have any say on how much has been, even though the committee had looked at it. What should the Speaker have done better to avoid it? This went on for hours.
You see, I heard it over the radio, and then I decided to turn the TV on to see what was happening. And I could barely hear all those bills that were being talked and being passed. I could hardly hear. So really and truly, if for nothing at all, the Speaker should have suspended Parliament. If for nothing at all. Because even, see his demeanor he walked into Parliament with. You could see that he was, one, disgusted, two, probably fed up, three, asking, what is it again?
And he kept saying, talking about peace.
Yes.
That
yes.
the alternative of peace, you do not want to
You see, the thing with, I think with the MPP side is that they've classed themselves with a certain tag. What do they call themselves? Mighty majority.
Mighty minority.
Mighty minority. Because a mighty minority, they should oppose everything, but forgetting that they need to build confidence in the people because of the loss they had in the election. A lot of people were very disgusted by some of the things that are coming out. And for the next election, they need to build confidence in the people to get anywhere.
And this strategy is not working?
I don't think it is. I don't think this is the way. Look, go on the streets and ask Ghanaians how they see what they are doing. Rabble rousing all the time. Rabble rousing all the time. Is that the way to do it? There are many ways of stringing a cat. Look, if you walk in here and there are two people having an argument, one is shouting on top of their voices, one is calmly giving it. Which one would you go to first?
No, one calmly.
Exactly. Exactly. Their modus operandi should change for people to see they are building themselves back up. I just hope with this election they are going into for their flag bearer, I just hope it doesn't create any katakata between them. Because you are ground zero right now. You've got to build yourselves back up. You don't have enough time to build yourselves back up. So irrespective of, you thinking that you have the right things to say, then do it in a way that people can follow you. Do it in a way where people can say, yes, what they're saying is right. But if you do it in this rabble-rousing way, you turn people off.
Right.
And people wouldn't even want to listen to you when you're even saying the right thing. I don't understand. If you see the way he was presenting, he started very calmly. The next thing you heard, he was shouting on top of his voice. Shouting at who? The people in the parliament are not small boys or small girls. They are all mature people. So show a bit of respect. I don't understand the formula and way the MPP want to handle themselves. They should handle themselves in such a way that it breeds respect, it breeds confidence. People say, okay, maybe they are trying to get themselves back up and they're trying to do things right. But this shouting and rabble-rousing, for me, doesn't help. And it doesn't give a good rendition for the young people also coming up.
I'm sure we'll hear from them if it's achieving results for them, and that's why they
Has it achieved results? Of all the rabble-rousing, which of them has achieved results?
We'll find out, definitely. Let me bring in the Honourable Isiful Mahamudu, who is the MP for Binduri, who's joined us at the table. Honourable, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
You must be really sore all over your body, because I saw you in there. I saw you, and I said, is that the Honourable? The chaos was something else.
Okay.
How did it generate into that, Honourable? If you can paint us a picture.
Good morning once again, and let me use this opportunity to first and foremost say a very big good morning to the overlord of the Kusagu traditional area, the Zugrana, and for that matter, all the chiefs in that part of the region. And I say a very big morning to wherever they are now. And to also use this opportunity to make a humble appeal to the Minister of Interior, for that matter, National Security, that the imposition of curfew from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. the following morning is long overdue. It is causing a lot of inconvenience, so much, making life so uncomfortable in my constituency. And by extension, the ban on the use of motorbike, absolutely. Schools have closed down for the past 1 month now. Nothing is working. Health facilities and the likes have all closed down. And so, yes, we are all looking for calm to return, but we should be looking at means and ways that we can do it and manage the situation effectively than to cause so much pain, so much dissatisfaction on one end, all in the name that we are seeking to bring back calmness in the area. Yes, we are all willing, we are supporting, but I think it's long overdue. We're thinking that at least a week, 2 should suffice, but it is going too far. And so I humbly appeal to them, wherever they are, they should take a second look at it and then review the curfew terms in the constituency. Right. Yes, back to the question that you have put in before me. Yes, you have seen me, so I don't think if what you saw and actually described was something to prevent me or actually cause any pain in my body.
Your wife didn't massage you last night. You slept fine?
Oh, I don't even know where my wife is for the past 2 weeks now. She is far away somewhere. I'm also here. And so you can imagine the time I left Parliament and how I have been able to wake up very early.
Right.
And I have been here. And so what you saw there is not really the picture you are trying to...
Tell us then what happened.
What happened, I think Senior has already discussed that extensively with you. But what actually happened is the minority trying to block the Clerk of Parliament's letter that he wrote to declare, for Speaker to declare the Kwandai seat vacant, and by extension order the, convey that message to the Electoral Commission to in compliance with the High Court orders. That is what they sought to prevent. And one was wondering their legal basis for trying to use chaotic means, use their strength to prevent us from ensuring that, yes, the laws of these countries are being upheld. That is what we have all sworn to do. His Excellency, any member of Parliament has sworn to protect the Constitution and by extension every statute of this country. And so I don't think we will be doing ourselves good if we allow the minority to have their way. And so Senior was saying that Parliament should have been suspended. The Parliament have done so much engagement. We should have started by 12 p.m. yesterday. They went to conclave about 2 or 3 occasions. They tried. It was started with the first Deputy Speaker. The scene was so chaotic he could not, and so Speaker himself has to take over. Speaker did all he has to do. I think Order 126 of our standing orders states very clear that we should listen in silence, more especially when Speaker is on his feet, and yet they have chosen to disregard all these things. And these are members of Parliament, especially the Minority Chief Whip, the Honorable Anodon Pre. At a point in time, he comes in with the standing orders, try to call people to order and the like. So we don't know where he has decided to finally abandon through the law to the laws and go this way that he wanted to do. And I think they had chosen the wrong path. That will even worsen their situation. They don't have the strength, they don't have the numbers. And so we had also, through our leader, had also ensured that Parliament will not be suspended. If we allow it, if we ever allow that a minute, I think we will not be doing ourselves a favor. We will not be protecting the constitutional.
So them citing a clear case of lack of principle, they said it's a case of institutional contradiction. The Speaker is biased in this particular Kwandai rerunners against Gyakye Quayson and other situations that have happened in the chamber. Was not up for discussion at all. It wasn't something to be considered by their side.
Where did they say those statements?
It's here. And this is the MP for Menchia South, Nana Ejay.
Did he do that in the floor of Parliament? I don't know. I never heard him.
But these concerns have been raised.
No, that is what I'm saying. Where did he raise his concerns? If he chose to come to GTV here.
The Honorable Anot Dompre also mentioned procedural integrity and fidelity.
No, but that was
not... The Speaker was not paying attention.
What do you mean by the Speaker was not paying attention? We were in Parliament. The Speaker himself was not even allowed to speak to our hearing. The majority leader, who was supposed to start business for the day, they continuously resisted, prevented him. We could not hear what he's saying. And so even the requirement that that is the OD uttering pattern, you listen, you hear my side, I hear your side, so that we can be able to make that thing was not there. So whatever they do, or if they had kept quiet, listening in silence, as the standing orders of Parliament requires every member to do, at least Speaker has always been so magnanimous to them in most cases, because he feels that they are the minority, and so the best thing we can do for them is to always allow them to be to be heard. And that is why when our leader even moved the motion that because of our numbers, if three of us should be heard before one comes from the minority side, Speaker ruled against the majority.
Okay.
You see it? And so in most instances, Speaker allows them to have their way. And so one was expecting that once Speaker himself took his seat, they should have allowed the majority leader to say whatever he was going to say, for them to also make their points as you are saying. But if they choose to use other fora to do that, then
So what was happening in the center where you were all mangled up and then you were pushing? What were they going to do? They wanted to moved to a different location?
They had moved. They had come out from their seats. And they were advancing towards our leader and to the class.
To do what?
To do what? What was going to happen if they had advanced to the...
They were calling, they wanted to just do everything possible to prevent
the business. Because the majority leader insisted that he was going to look at all the the budgets and the papers that the committees had brought.
Good.
So couldn't the majority leader have decided to listen to them or to hold off that, let them come and then they listen?
Yes.
Could that have been possible?
No.
So, because I don't... So what was the fear? Physical confrontation?
Yeah, of course. If a man is advancing...
But there were security people in the chamber.
The security people are not in their numbers. The security people came and then created a blockade. But how many were they?
It will go that far?
Yes, and they were pushing them. When the security people came, they did not even accord them that respect. They were pushing the security. And so when you push the security and we don't also form a wall to block it, then you put the security is likely to fall on our leader.
So the NDC members were formed a barricade or a wall to prevent them from getting
to protect our leader, to protect the clerk and by extension to the speaker. So that was what we're only trying to.
Was that not exaggerated?
No,
that
it wasn't.
They would have advanced to the leader and then the clerk?
What again? If Parliament security comes in between?
Because and it got physical, actually.
Yes, it got physical. Some people were so emotionally attacked that, look, even though we were just defending or trying to prevent them from doing anything to harm or hurt any of our leaders, but it got to the extent that, look, you have to even hold your brother from the other side, looking at how you could see his demeanor, his emotions. If you allow him, he can just go physical and that kind of thing. So that was how it was. And so, yes.
So the strategy that you believe by the NDC side was that the NPP side wanted to go to... And what would have happened? So if they had gotten to the leader and the clerk, government business or parliament business collapses.
Exactly.
The speaker cannot control...
He cannot. And how can he even control? Look at the age of speaker. If he's pushed down, if our majority leader is pushed down, if any of the clerks, because they do the recordings and all the administrative work, if their consoles is broken or anything, what activity can take place in Parliament again? Nothing. And so we needed to prevent that, and we succeeded in doing that. And every activity that was required of us in Parliament, apart from statements and other questions that were meant for ministers and the rest, we were able to carry out the business of government successfully yesterday, and we are going to continue doing that.
How do you feel your constituents view the actions that played out in Parliament? It's not the first.
Yes, my constituents who are NDC sympathizers should be happy and be proud that, yes, we were able to carry out government business yesterday. And that is what we voted to. That is what we are out there to do. And we succeeded in doing that.
You could have still had opportunities to carry out those businesses that happened.
How?
If the sitting was suspended entirely, so that there's calm restored, then you reconvene again.
We normally suspend sitting for leaders to go to conclave and address whatever grievances that they have and come back. But they did that on not less than 3 occasions. So, and just like his senior
when the
said,
second speaker called, did the leaders go?
Come again.
When they called for the leaders to come and did the two sides, did they all go? They went.
They do.
And they came out and...
At the point they were even going the last time, it was the deputy minority leader, and then their chief whip, and that is Honorable Patricia Ajay, and then Honorable Anodon Pre. You could see their backbench and some of them shouting, Honorable Ahmed Jerry must be there. And so you ask yourself, why are they insisting that he should be there?
When the two leaders...
I don't know whether they are thinking that they are level-headed leaders, and so if they go into conclave, they will compromise their position or whatever. They are insisting Ahmed must be there. Ahmed must be there. And we heard all those things taking place.
Why must Ahmed be there?
That is what we cannot tell. Because he's a leader, but the two are seniors to him. If not for their numbers, Ahmed is a first-timer.
Right.
You see it? And so
Okay.
if Honorable Patricia is going into conclave with another
Another
prayer,
prayer.
why should they be calling that Ahmed must be there?
And that
even though they will not
happened,
agree?
and still,
And that happened. And
they came out and they were still
as Senior rightly
chaotic.
said, another prayer, you will see him, he will start on the low mode, but before you realize, you see, sometimes you see them reading their phones, messages or whatever, so you can tell that there is some invisible hands
Outside of Parliament.
outside of Parliament that is dictating the pace for them to what? To follow or whatever. You can
Well, this
understand.
could be the citizens. The citizens are invisible hands and forces that they are representing there as well.
Well, and so if those citizens are asking them to engage in this lawful, this unlawful acts,
Okay.
so be it.
All
And
right.
so government businesses were carried out
Titi,
successfully.
what's
Yeah,
the-
let me give you the
What's
final
the
word on this.
first? What's the first thing one needs to do, even on this platform? You've invited us. What's the first thing that we need to abide by and do?
No. Rules and regulations. I
Apart
think.
from that,
Respect for
show
each other.
Respect for each other.
Right.
When you were giving, your two other colleagues were here, and they showed us that clip from the radio station.
Right.
What was the comment? That the host didn't show respect
Right.
for the platform. And I heard one of your colleagues say that if this was GTV, you're out.
Right.
So as parliamentarians, if for nothing at all, show respect to the people of Ghana, because you are in the House of Parliament where you represent the people of Ghana. Look at the chaos. Look, the urging and barging and are you going to fight? I don't.
That's what they were
I
asking.
do not understand
It's become a
it.
boxing arena.
House of Parliament, of all places. You leave your seat and you're going to do what? Going to fight? And you see, the sad thing is that it has happened before. We all condemned it. So don't you learn? Then maybe the next time when people are standing for, put themselves up for, to stand for Parliament, we should interview them and vet them before we vote for them.
And ask if when they go and there's,
Because
there's chaos, they will fight.
It doesn't make sense. For MPP, UP tradition, who call themselves rule of law party. Is that the rule of law they are showing there? Then maybe what the party should sit back and think and ask themselves, the people we've put there to represent our party in Parliament, are they the right people?
Right.
And if so, if they're not the right people, change them. Because we need discipline in our Parliament. At the present moment, when you take the three arms of government, Parliament is the weakest link. Parliament is the weakest link. And we need to build Parliament such that they are seen as respectful people. I mean, how can I call honorable? Honorable. And then you go into Parliament and you do this kind of thing. How? And it is up to, and you see, the other day, President Kufuor spoke, didn't he?
Yes, you did.
He spoke. Even show him respect. Show your former presidents, people who have been your presidents for your party, show them respect. And you think President Kufuor would agree to such a thing? Even President Akufo-Addo, you think he would agree to such a thing? So who are the ones sending them messages? And if your constituents are sending you messages, isn't it up to you to send back and say that in the House of Parliament, we cannot act that way? It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm somebody, I'm not in Parliament, so maybe I'm talking for nothing.
Oh, goodness. And this is not ending anytime soon, I believe.
But
we're
it should
still going
stop.
to, yes.
I expect the speaker.
Let's see. Maybe out of this,
I expect the
certain
speaker,
things will be said.
when things are calm now, he should give a stern warning. Stern warning. And those who then get into this kind of action again, suspend them. Does he have the right of suspense?
Yeah, he has.
Yes, suspend them.
He did it during the vetting of, was it some minister of
He has
state,
apologized on behalf of the
Yes,
House,
he
severally
suspended some of
even,
them.
you know, because of some of the conduct that we've
We
seen.
need to show respect to the House of Parliament. When you insult the president, you're not insulting the president, you're insulting his office. You're showing disrespect to his
the seat.
office. So if that is the case, who are we going to respect in this country? Who? If Parliament can do this, anybody can rabble rouse, can they? And then we sit back and say what? It is good or it is right?
All right.
Let's go on.
Let's wrap it up with the OSP. Two cases that are up for discussion recently is the MPA case and the Charles Bisu trial. Again, the court has granted the OSP anonymity of key witnesses in the Bisu trial, and so it says that it's protecting the first prosecution witness in the high-profile corruption trial of former Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining Secretary Charles Bisu and two others. The court approved that OSP's request for the witness to testify in camera privately, citing significant risk to the witness's life should the identity be publicly revealed. However, the defense is arguing why that should be done in camera, and they argue that constitutional principles of transparency and public access to trial should not be compromised without stronger justification. However, the other side is citing examples like the Ahmed Swale case, where people who are identified in corruption cases that they have been part of revealing poses threats to their life, their family, and all of that. Let me begin with you, Honorable Mahmood, on this.
Yes, what the court has done by granting the OSP quest for the first witness to testify in camera is not novice as far as our court practice is concerned. We are all aware that General Atenkai Article 19.5 and Section 102 of the Courts Act, that's Act 454, has made it clear that yes, court proceedings should be made public, but that notwithstanding, the general provisions are exceptions to the extent that there are instances where witness should be made to testify in camera, and I'm sure that those, among other things, is the reason why the court has granted the special prosecutor request for the witness to testify in camera. And so that is it. Okay. The court has done the right thing, and I don't see why the defense, that's Charles Bisu and his lawyers, should be worried about testifying in camera. Doesn't mean that your lawyers will not be given the opportunity to cross-examine such witness. Okay. And so there is nothing.
Why is there fear of manipulation of whatever the outcome of the in-camera interview will be? That's why they are citing that public access to that information or that in-camera interview is vital.
Yes, public access, it depends. When you have to take oath to ensure that whatever that is testified in camera is not meant for what? For public consumption. And I'm sure they will do everything to also protect the sanctity of that. And that should not also be a cause of worry to them. What is important is getting the opportunity to cross-examine the witness to either discredit him, the evidence, or the facts he has testified to, so that it may not have material effect against their client. In this case, the accused person, Charles Bisu. Okay. That is what they should be putting their they should putting their self together in doing that, than to be questioning it as if it is something that our law does not allow it. No, it is clear in our constitution, it is clear in our Courts Act, and for that matter, many other court decisions. We have so many of them where witnesses were made to testify in camera, and so it's one of such things that they should not. There's no cause of alarm, and so it cannot lead to miscarriage of justice to the accused person or whosoever that is involved. So it's in order.
Let me pick your comment then on the Mustafa Hamid and the 9 others granted bail as well, just before I go to lawyer Jantua. And they say that he's been complying, Mr. Mustafa Hamid and
Yes.
the other two accused
Good.
with all the conditions.
Yes, that is also the news. I think it was just a formality because Mustafa Hamid, I don't know whether he also went through the police or the Yoko or special prosecutor too. And so once he was granted an inquiry bail at that stage, depending on whatever the bail conditions were, as to whether he should be reporting timeously to the agency that is investigating him or to the court as well. Once the accused is doing that and appears before the court, the practice is that, yes, he can, his conduct that he has exhibited prior to appearing before the court, if that is brought to the attention of the court has nothing to do than to just exercise its discretion by going through the formality and granting him bail, just like the investigative body has done.
How soon do you think this case will be completed? This is an OSP that they're asking for his head as well. This is a particular case where Mr. Mustafa Hamid has incited to say that, oh, nothing will happen to him in this country.
Yes, it depends on his confidence level. If they are accusing you of something that you believe that you are completely innocent about it, then you can go about bragging. But if he's also doing that to please his sympathizers and family, when he knows very well that there is a serious case against him to answer, that will be his own cup of tea. I don't know what he knows, what he has, the defense that he has, that he feels that nothing is going to happen to him.
All right.
And so I will not delve into that matter too much. And then by some people asking that the special prosecutor should go, I think that there is something serious that I have observed with regards to senior member of the bar, Martin Pebu. I think he is also beginning to be too petty on the issues when it comes to the special prosecutor, because I think...
I don't know how you get results. You get the office to work, you get the man in charge to...
You see, to the extent that he has granted interview to many stations, and of which I think GTV is not an exception, that he went to the special prosecutor's office, to the extent that the security officers, is it the military officer, for whatever reason, insulted him, he is stupid, and he also replied him as stupid, and he does that, carries himself that, oh, as a lawyer, you can't allow that. I keep wondering whether a lawyer of his stature, his years in the bar, whether it is appropriate that if a military officer act unprofessionally and insult you, a lawyer, that you are stupid, whether it's the appropriate thing to do by also insulting him as stupid. If the soldier has slapped him in those circumstances, like soldiers easily do, what will he have done? And so I think you, the media, should also question him on that regard, so that he should not be going around trying to call the special prosecutor to order and to one leg to trying to do certain things that doesn't befit of a lawyer of his stature.
Right.
And so that is how we should go.
Well, gentlemen, these two cases of Mr. Charles Sibisiu, the in-camera witness that the court has granted, and also Mr. Mustafa Hamid and the two others in the MPA scandal that the OSP's office is, investigating. With all the calls that it's taking too long, he must go, somebody else must come into that office and finalize these issues.
With the Charles Sibisiu case, the court can decide to hold the entire case in camera, can't they? It's in their rules and regulations. And if they feel that people's lives are at stake, and remember, this is a high-profile corruption case. And if you've even realized, whistleblowers who have reported people and they've been exposed, what has happened to those whistleblowers?
In Ghana here.
Yes, they've been attacked. And what does whistleblower? Who's a whistleblower? Somebody who gives information.
In anonymity.
And people don't know who gave.
The person. Yes.
that information and they're exposed. So if they realize that because of this, the kind of case it is, they need to protect people, they'll protect people. And as Honorable rightly said, the other side, those who have been,
The defense.
the defense, are allowed to interview.
Okay.
So I don't see anything wrong with it.
Right.
You see, I always say in court cases, evidence is the key. Depending on what is said by this person who is going to be questioned in camera, and based on the evidence, and the evidence of the defense side, and it's up to the judge to use the law to see which is
On
true
both sides.
and which is false.
The prosecution's
Simple.
proving.
But if they need to protect people, yes, they should protect people.
Okay.
Because people's lives are at stake. Protect it. I don't see anything wrong with it. But sometimes the defense also need to show their clients that we are doing our work.
Right.
But if they have to defend, if they have to give them protection, they should give them protection.
Okay.
On the
Mustafa Hamid.
Mustafa Hamid, I heard Honorable indicate that throwing their weight around that nothing can happen
Yes.
to them.
That's what I've heard.
It's based on the evidence. If the evidence can absolve them, fair enough. If the evidence can't absolve them, then they are put in jail. No be so? All this kerfuffle thing around it is neither here nor there. And from what they said, I think and correct me if I'm wrong, the actual accusations against them were dropped, and fresh ones were
Fresh
brought.
new charges were
and
brought.
and they felt that because fresh new charges were brought in, that bail they gave to them in the initial one was null and void.
Yes.
But at the present moment, the judge is saying, so far as they have conducted themselves well, and they stuck to that first one, it should just continue. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
They say the proof of the pudding is what? Is in the eating. When the case comes, and it goes to court, you have your evidence, I have my evidence. Then we see whether what they are saying is right or wrong.
Okay, gentlemen, please let's wrap on this. ECOWAS declaring state of emergency in West Africa. I believe that you heard about the failed coup attempt in Benin, which is added to other coups in the sub-region that raises the hairs on the backs of the necks of most Africans and African leaders, and ECOWAS and bodies like it. It declared a state of emergency in the region following the recent wave of coups and failed military mutinies. And so yesterday, December 9, the Commission's President Omar Toure, during the 55th session of the Mediation and Security Council held at the ministerial level in Abuja, said the recent events underscores the urgent need to reflect on the future of our democracy and strengthen the security of our community. And so the emergency declaration comes as West Africa's grapple with political instability, raising concerns about resilience of democratic governance in the sub-region. Honorable Mahmoud, let me throw this to you.
Yes, that is correct to say, because if you look at the West African region, we have recorded so much coup d'etats, some being successful, others not, for the last 2 or 3 years now. And whereas one would have expected that it should have been a thing of the past by now, I think it's rather on the increase. And so you look at it more, especially Nigeria, though we did not hear that there was a coup attempt there, but we saw the president change entirely their security leadership. And so that is also, or was also, a signal that something of that nature maybe was behind the scenes.
Right.
And so it is quite worrying that for us to grow our democracy in Africa, we in the West African part of the world is rather retrogressing by introducing coup d'etats and other kind of things.
Right.
And so that is quite worrying. And I think that is because those countries in themselves do, and for that matter, countries that are also towing that direction or tangent should also have a cause to worry and begin to look at means and ways that will make them more democratic, using the Ghanaian example, than trying to impose leaders on the citizenry, extending their tenure of office by amending their constitution as and when it is convenient to them and that kind of thing. So I think we must come together to ensure that, yes, their constitutional dictates are maintained and obeyed, and not to be amended just like any other statute. And I think if we do that, it will come to a time that we will not be seeing this coup d'etats in our region.
Okay. Ajantwa, I leave you with the last word on this.
These coups, which countries are they being?
Benin was the one that was foiled recently. We've heard of the Niger. They're francophone countries, Mali, Burkina Faso.
What should that tell you? What should that tell you? I would not be surprised looking at our own 66 coup and those who were behind it.
We think the Anglophone countries are far away from this.
Our 66 coup, the Americans were dead on behind it. Read the history and read the release of papers on the 66 coup. Americans were dead. What has happened to Francophone countries? Are they not all saying they are detaching themselves from France? Do you know how much money came from the Francophone countries into France? 500 billion. And you think the French will sit down for it to happen? I do not believe those coups are being done just on the blind side. And unfortunately, the presidents who are there are also creating challenges by extending their stay.
African presidents.
One that even shocked me was Cote d'Ivoire. And what is it? Honorable, tell me, that chair of president, what is there?
There's a lot that chair can do, Lawyer Jantwa.
Even in Ghana now, I hear talkings that President Mahama should extend his stay.
Yes.
There's a constitution.
There's a lot of talk
about that.
And
if we don't go by the constitution, how do we expect to be able to do what? Practice democracy in this country? And you see, I'm not sure whether you've seen this clip of one European gentleman indicating Africa's importance to Europe and America. And he was even saying that it is good to keep Africa where it is because they are the provider of natural resources to their countries. So whatever we do, let's keep them where they are. Shouldn't Africa be able to come together and see all these nonsense and try and build a continent?
ECOWAS is trying to do that.
Look, the Jomo Kenyattas of this world, the Nyereres of this world, the Nkrumahs of this world, they wanted to bring Africa together.
Africa.
When Nkrumah was talking about a united Africa, who were the ones who were against it? And right now we are trying to even do that. And look, coups everywhere. Before in Francophone countries, did you hear coups? No. You didn't. So it goes to show there are unseen hands underneath this. Let's try as much as possible. And see, let me end by saying, I get so sad that we have an AU and they don't do anything for Africa. I get sad. So right now, it's up to ECOWAS to make sure, and they should be very careful how they handle this. And I think President Mahama did the right thing with Burkina Faso when he went there and, tried to make sure that there is unity. Let all African presidents be able to do that where there's coups and not try and go in with force. That force doesn't help anybody.
We saw that in Niger, Africa, Mali, when it happened.
Look,
and the force that they tried.
The Congo Basin, the water in the Congo Basin. can light up the whole of Africa for hydro.
Wow.
Why? The natural resources we have, if we are able to add value to it, we won't need anybody. Why? Look at India, look at China, look at all these other countries who are trying to come together. What is wrong with us? For us to be able to handle our country. And right now,
okay,
on this note, jobs. The youth need jobs.
Yeah.
And that is where the challenge might come from in future.
Okay.
So it is important that we are able to stop these schools and look at the economic independence that Africa needs to create the kind of jobs that can give our children and our children's children work to do in the future.
Absolutely. Economic independence, unified Africa. Thank you so much. Lawyer Jantwa is a member of the CPP, is a lawyer as well. The Honorable Isifin Mahmood is MP for Binduri. They've been my guests this morning, discussing expertly all the big issues that shape national discussions. On the headlines, I am Multi Decider Sadiq. We're back with another conversation with Jay. You don't want to miss it. And it's about Africa, and it's talking about directing policies and compliance.